Hello, friends, and welcome to episode number 87 of Nostalgia Talk. I'm James, and joining me this time is Tania Gunadi. Did I say your name right, by the way?
You can, but usually I go with Tanya, like Tanya Harding.
Okay, cool. I was
You
determined
probably you
to
don't even
not.
know who Tanya Harding is.
I, I have to confess I don't, but I was determined to not screw up the name.
No problem at all. Doesn't matter.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you, James. Hello.
Now,
Well,
for
we
any,
chatted earlier before, so it's kind of nice to know that you're in Canada and a nice weather right now.
Now, for anybody who doesn't know, Tania is an actress and voice actress who has been seen on screen in shows such as Even Stevens, Aaron Stone, Girl Meets World, and the Disney Channel original movie Pixel Perfect, and has done voice work for Transformers Prime, Sanjay and Craig, DC Superhero Girls, and Penn Zero Part-Time Hero. So yeah, we've got a lot of ground to cover for sure. So for starters, let me say welcome to Nostalgia Talk.
Hey, thank you, James.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you as well. So to kick it off, how did you become interested in acting, like in acting in general?
Oh my gosh, your question is like short, but the answer is like long.
It's usually how it works.
How did I get interested in acting? Okay, I'll give you a short version. I was working at Pizza Hut, and then a friend of mine, I didn't really speak English then, but a friend of mine said that, oh, you're so cheery and excited person. You should audition for a Disneyland commercial. It's like an open call. And long story short, I did, and it was so fun. And I decided there and then I wanted to be an actor.
Oh wow, that's interesting that it all just started with a little commercial. I forgot to mention in the intro, she's also been in a bunch of commercials for Target and AT&T. You've definitely seen her in Target ads. There's one I saw where she was like a teacher, I believe it was.
The glitter.
Yeah, I'll put a card up in the corner of the video if anybody wants to see that. So acting was not something that you really ever thought about doing?
Never thought about it. Yeah. I honestly, when I was growing up in Indonesia, I didn't even know, like, I didn't even put it together, the concept of acting or it never, I have never taken any acting classes. Like, it wasn't available, that opportunity.
Okay. Do you remember after doing those commercials, do you remember the first time that you ever got a gig on TV?
After the commercial?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So after the commercial, I was so excited because I was working at Pizza Hut. Uh, because I didn't really speak English, I won a green card lottery when I came here. And but then my brother, who was already here, introduced me to Pizza Hut. And so I got like a higher position at Pizza Hut. Like I was a customer service relation person. But then, because my English was bad, within 3 weeks, I kept getting demoted to like a cashier, and then from cashier to washing dishes, all the way to cleaning the bathroom. But anyway, so then what? Wait, you asked me something else and I answer something else. But anyway, so oh yeah, I remember. So while I was cleaning the bathroom, I got paid so little. This was like, 15 years ago. So I was like maybe $7 an hour. And then when I booked the Disneyland commercial, I didn't have to say anything, right? It was just like pretending you're on a roller coaster. So you're just like, what? And screaming and having fun. And they paid me $1,500. And I remembered, I was like, what the $7 cleaning toilet every hour, or on a roller coaster, having fun for $1,500. And that's when I'm like, I'm going to be an actor. And so after the commercial, I was so excited and I thought, I was like, oh my God, I can do it. Right. So I started like auditioning and stuff. And can you believe this, James? For the first year, I couldn't book a single thing. And then
Oh.
yeah, and then I was like, so I didn't even do anything. So I finally met an acting teacher, and the acting teacher said, Tanya, how can you book something if you don't even understand the English and you don't even know how to act? Not every job is a Disneyland commercial. And I was like, doing duh. Then I dedicated like my entire, like literally every week, I go to 3 different acting classes. I studied English morning, day, night, and I read a bunch of scripts, and I was like studying nonstop for the whole year. And finally, I booked my very first gig was for the Disney Channel, Even Stevens.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I know my answer is long.
That's all right. What was that show like? Because you got to work with people like Shia LaBeouf and Christy Carlson Romano.
Oh my God, it was like so amazing. It was, Shia was huge, and it was just like the best thing. Honestly, I had never been, because I was studying, for that 2 years nonstop, and getting that opportunity to be a guest star on the Disney Channel. It really I felt like it was a breakthrough for me, because after that I was able to get a lot of things. And working with those professionals really opened my eyes that even at early age, Shaya and Christy and all the other people, they're very they're already like they're super professional. It only makes me, like when you play tennis with someone who's better than you, it makes you better, instead of playing tennis with like your little niece where you always win. So it was really
And you
nice
have to
being,
let her win.
yeah, and then you have to let her win.
Mhm.
So in this case, it really makes me inspired to continue to study more. In fact, after that, I mean, until today, I'm still in acting classes, variety forms of classes, improv, musical improv, some drama, comedy, different genres. I just like to continue to learn and for my craft.
That's wonderful. And shortly after Even Stevens, of course, you got to be in the Disney Channel original movie Pixel Perfect, which I actually watched for the first time getting ready for this.
No, you're so sweet. Oh my
And
gosh, share.
I really liked it a lot. It was yeah,
Oh,
it was great.
that was so fun. Oh, thank you so much for watching that.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yes. It's so funny because on Pixel Perfect, the audition, there were, you audition first for the character, right? And then after that, they go to a callback and all these things. And then finally, they chose 3 girls, and they said, okay, the final audition is we have to make sure you can play the drums, because we
That
all
was going to
sang
be
we
my
can
next question. I was wondering if you had to learn to play the drums before doing that movie, or if it was something you already knew how to do.
I actually already knew. So what happened is, I don't know
Oh,
if you know, sometimes actors, including myself, sometimes you say, yes, I can do it, but actually you can't really do it.
it's
And
like it's like a little vote of confidence. Like, yeah, I can do that if I can learn to do that.
yes, which what I did in Go Figure with the ice hockey. But anyway, for the Pixel Perfect, I actually knew how to play the drums when I was in Indonesia. And so it came to 3 girls, and they said, okay, on the last audition, we want to make sure you guys can actually play the drums. So I don't know the other 2 girls, but the director came to a drums rehearsal studio, and they watched me play. And oh man, that was the best audition. I was like, this one I can do really well. I was like, oh.
A special skill on one's resume that you already knew how to do before the audition.
Oh my gosh, yes. I was beyond excited. And I was telling my mom and dad, because when I was in Indonesia, we didn't really have much money or anything. So, but my mom and my dad, they're always so nice. They said, if you want to take any classes that involves music, we will always pay for it. So whatever you want. And so I was learning piano and organ, guitar, and then one day I heard somebody play the drum in the other room, and I just told them, I said, please, I want to learn how to play the drums. And they said, okay. And I just felt it really paid off.
So music was always an interest of yours before acting. So you were always a really artsy kind of a person.
Don't know about artsy. I mean, I love listening to music when I was a little girl. I remember growing up in Indonesia. I already was driving when I was 15, and my dad said, okay, you can choose. Do you want AC or do you want radio? Because I don't know if you know, Indonesia is very humid. It's a very
Oh,
hot.
I do. My very best friend in the whole wide world was actually born and raised in Singapore, which isn't that far away
Oh,
from Indonesia. So,
oh my gosh. Okay, well, you have to
mm,
say hi to
yeah.
that.
And
Yeah.
I also have my cousin's wife is from Thailand.
Oh, okay. So you understand this. Yes.
Mhm.
So it's really, really hot. And you know what? I chose radio. So growing up, I was always like sweating. Wherever I go, it's like sweat. But anyway, I feel like it pays off.
So, in addition to Pixel Perfect and Even Stevens, you were in one of my very favorite episodes of the show, Girl Meets World, which,
Oh my
believe it
gosh.
or not, one of the things that made me want to get into filmmaking was actually shows from when I was a teenager that were on Disney Channel and Nickelodeon,
Oh,
because by that time, I was still watching them because they were funny. Um, but eventually I kind of realized these are very similar to things that are going on in my own life right now. And I kind of used that, and I wrote a little movie script based upon what I knew from what I was watching on TV, my friendships, and things that were going on in my life in high school. And I kind of put all of those together. And Girl Meets World was definitely a big, big help in that.
wow. I mean, that's huge because you told me that you went to film school to study writing and directing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What kind of writing have you written so far?
Uh, let's see. I recently wrote, I'm a big fan of movies like She's All That, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But the thing that bothers me, most of my friends are female. So the thing that really bothers me is the story of started out friends and then you kind of expect them to end up together. And I'm like, why don't I create something where they're just always friends and then we experiment with their relationships outside of that?
Ooh, well,
Mhm.
check that out. Look, that's nice.
Yeah. So so with Girl Meets World, what was that like? Because your character was like for any of the listeners who haven't seen the episode, it was very similar to to Boy Meets World, because Tania's character is like this badass teacher who is known for driving a motorcycle to work, and immediately the first thing she teaches is that there are heroes and villains by using the Dark Knight Rises, much to the principal's dismay, who is played by a previous guest, by the way, Stuart Pankin.
Yes, that was really exciting. Girl Meets World. It's I mean, it's really fun because I never played a teacher before like that, like except in the Target commercial. Because previously on the Disney Channel, I've been playing the kid, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
on Even Stevens and Aaron Stone and Go Figure, Imagination Movers. And then all of a sudden, playing the teacher, it was really interesting for me. But I was very happy to be a part of that franchise. Too bad it got canceled, right? That was the last season,
Mm.
right? It was so good though.
Yeah, and you also got to work in that episode with, of course, Ben Savage from the original series, but another one from the original series, Anthony Tyler Quinn, who did Mr. Turner. And
Yes.
because I feel like your character was so much like Mr. Turner on the original series, so it was kind of like a real sequel
It
to
was
his
so,
introduction. Yeah.
oh, believe me, everybody in the cast, like everybody, because a lot of crew, you know, they all know this thing. So everyone just really loved it to have that. I mean, I actually really enjoy, I work with Ben quite a bit, during that week. And he's so, so wonderful. He's just such a wonderful guy. I really would love more opportunities, to work with him.
Mm. Stuart
Hey, maybe
Pankin, when
one of
I
these days you can write it and then he can direct it. No, you guys can co-direct.
I'll remember
Ooh.
that. Hi Ben, if you're listening. Uh, when I interviewed Stuart Pankin a while back, I brought up that episode, and he said that he remembers Anthony Tyler Quinn's wife baking cookies or something.
Ooh. Why don't I remember this? You know what? I'm gluten free, so I probably don't remember cookies.
what 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 was he like?
he's so nice, very down to earth, like you would sometimes you don't know when you meet someone famous if they're gonna be nice or they're gonna be snobbish, but he's very, very down to earth. You would like him.
It's funny because I go to HalCon, which is our fan convention here, and
Oh,
my first year there, Will Friedle from Boy Meets World was one of the guests,
oh my
and
goodness.
it's funny because my father, my dad's a construction person, and he was in charge of the construction of our convention center. And when I would hear about some of the people who were coming to HalCon while he was still building it, I'm like, Dad, you have to sneak me in. I have to meet this person.
Oh
And
my God.
yeah, then finally I was able to buy my own ticket. And I heard that Will Friedle was coming to HalCon, and I'm like, I'm going. I'm going this year.
You should never buy your own ticket. You have to always tell your dad that you can be like an assistant construction person.
Yeah, just
APP. Oh no, ACP. Assistant construction person. There, I just gave you
yeah.
a title.
So yeah, I walk into the convention center where all the guests are, and I see Will Friedle, and I thought to myself, okay, I have a pass to meet another guest right now. I'm not going to go right over to Will's table yet, because maybe that's not appropriate. Because they always tell you on every show I've worked on, they've always said, don't talk to the actors unless they talk to you first. So.
Oh, I've never heard of that. Okay.
So I kind of remembered that, and I was like, just give him his space and wait until it's my turn. And as I'm waiting on this guest, one of the volunteers looks at me and is like, hey, do you want to talk to Will while you wait? I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
that's so nice.
I, I
Yes.
spent I spent basically most of that weekend with him.
I mean, that's nice. I think actors, maybe, I don't know, if they're in a scene, they're about to do a scene that's like in character, probably they are staying true to the character so they don't talk to other people. But
Mhm.
I believe in convention situation, they would be so happy to talk to anyone.
Mhm. So going back to Girl Meets World, your character was named Harper Lee Burgess, and of course the principal was annoyed that she was not actually teaching literature, and then suggested To Kill a Mockingbird, which I actually have right here.
Oh my gosh, that's so, wow, you are really cool.
Thank you. And of course the principal was even saying to Mr. Turner, she's been here one day and she's already teaching comic books. Yeah, and my first day I taught the X-Men, but I want her to teach literature. She's named Harper Lee Burgess. Figure it out for yourself. And for anybody who doesn't get the reference, the name of the author of To Kill a Mockingbird is named Harper Lee. That makes me wonder, are you a book person?
Because I didn't speak English until I got to the States, so I only started reading American books when I got here. And my very first book in English was Harry Potter.
Oh,
Yes, Harry
so
Potter was
that's a good choice.
that's good. And yes, in Indonesia, we don't really have access to to English books.
Mhm.
So we don't read any of your classics, which is very unfortunate because like I'm reading everything, I'm late on everything.
Mhm.
Like I think Catcher in the Rye, I read it only like 10 years ago, while you guys have read it many, many years ago, right? I don't know if you've
Mhm.
read that. Things
I
like
don't think
that.
we read that in English, but there was another Boy Meets World episode that kind of reminded me of the one that you were in, where Mr. Feeney and Corey switched places because Corey was like, "Oh, Mr. Feeney's got the easy job. We just sit there and have to cram all these facts into our brain." And so Mr. Feeney's like, "All right, well, why don't we switch places and you can really see who really does have the easy job." And Eric was dating this woman who there was one scene where they had come home and she was in tears, and it was explained that somebody called her an unkind word because of her race. And Corey was like, wait, this happened today? This still goes on? So Corey actually had a lesson plan and says, today I'd like to teach you about Anne Frank. And
Oh,
so, cool teacher teaching something actually valuable. I remember reading the diary of Anne Frank when I was
really?
in when I was about 15, I think it was, which would have been around the time that I saw that episode, I think.
My
So it
gosh,
all
why you have a good memory.
Thank you.
And I do have to say that Girl Meets World and the Boy Meet the BMW BMW they're very they're kind of different, right, from the other Disney shows. Like they have
Yeah.
lessons behind it.
Oh yeah, like a lot of the 90s shows did, like Full House, Fresh Prince, Boy Meets World, like most of those episodes had like big lessons behind them that were very, and like, and that was what was so impactful to me as a 16-year-old watching these.
Oh, what else do you like? Like, do you watch? Did you watch other things like Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly?
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay. Hannah Montana was one of my favorite shows.
Hmm. Well,
Yes.
talking about a lot of these classic Disney Channel shows, I would love to bring up Aaron Stone. Can I tell you a funny story, actually?
Yes, tell me.
So last year, I interviewed JP Manu.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen him since Aaron Stone. Ah,
Ah, yeah, he's still a good friend. I still talk to him every now and again. And right before doing that one, I had announced, because I announced these shows on Nostalgia Talk social media. You guys know where to go. Links in the description. And I had just announced that I was going to be talking to Sean Cunningham, who co-produced the
oh my
Thundermans and
gosh.
Mhm. And JP was on an episode of the Thundermans, and so we were talking about it, and I said, "Well, I'm really looking forward to talking to one of the producers of that show. That was just announced. I'm going to be doing that next week." And so as I'm talking to Sean, he was talking about how he got started writing, and he's like, "Eventually, I started writing for Aaron Stone," and I was like, "I did not know that you wrote for Aaron Stone," and I just
Oh
had
my.
JP on last.
What a small world.
Yeah, Sean says hi, by the way.
Oh, I need to say hi to Sean. He's so nice.
He really
I,
is. Yeah, he's a
I'm
cool
gonna.
guy.
Oh my God. I feel like I tried. Did I? You know what? I need to call him again. Oh, he's so nice.
Yeah,
We
he's a
should have
cool
done it
guy.
like we should have done a group podcast, like everyone from Aaron Stone, including Sean.
Well, JP actually was saying, I hope that you'll invite me back. And occasionally I do these things called Nostalgia Talk bonus. And that's done in many different ways. During the strikes, especially, I did a lot of retrospectives on old school like TV episodes or specials or whatever. And sometimes I've done these little look backs on these things, and I've actually brought previous guests back. So
Oh my gosh.
maybe one day.
Sean, JP, and Kelly, and David.
That would be
I
fun.
love Aaron Stone. Aaron Stone, of course, is one of my well, I'm biased, so it is one of my favorite thing because I just love action and the double thing, like getting to play two characters. It was like something. It was a dream come true.
Mm.
Totally.
So did you audition for that one?
Oh yeah, yes, yes.
Mhm.
I auditioned for I think every job I get
Okay.
except for maybe two or three.
Hmm.
um, and it was yes, I auditioned with Kelly. Actually, we went to audition and then callback and then producer session and then finally we did the mix and match. And I think I remember it was me and another girl, and then the other girl went with Kelly. Kelly was already cast. They cast Kelly first, and then they see who would have the best chemistry with him. So it was kind of nerve-wracking, because you're like in the room, and the other girl is right there next to you. So you're like talking and then, okay, good luck.
Hmm.
You're like, good luck, but you kind of also want to book it.
Yeah, you secretly hope for the best. It's like, all right, nice talking to you. Like, but
Yes.
yeah, like when you're like, okay, good luck, but deep down you're like, why did I say that? I don't want to lie.
I know, right? It was a tough situation when you're like that. You're like, oh.
Mhm.
But it was so fun. Oh my God, Kelly is like so amazing, and of course that's where I met Gary Marsh and Judy, the casting director, Michelle. Oh, everyone was so. It was one of the best experiences ever, truly.
Mm. And what was it like to film in Canada?
Oh my God. It was so crazy awesome. So I had never gone anywhere else except for Indonesia. I would say Canada is like out of the country, right?
Oh yeah.
Even though it's so close. But we went to Toronto, and so I had to find my own. The first season, I found like a room in a hotel. Like it was like a somebody owns the room in the hotel, so I did not rent. I rented directly from the person. It was at the Pantages. I don't know if you know that in Toronto. Um, it
There's
was
so
like
many hotels in Toronto.
you're like, how the heck am I gonna know, Tanya?
I mean, I've only ever been to Toronto twice, and I've stayed in at least 3 hotels. Two of them were actually like really, really, really fancy.
You went twice, and you're telling me you don't know the 3,000 hotels there? Just kidding. It was really fun. Canada, people are so nice. I was very impressed, and I found out that you guys have the system of what is that called? Like where you go to the doctor and the hospital and everything is free,
Oh,
included.
free healthcare.
Yep, free healthcare. What
It's
is that?
funny because a lot of the time when I make small talk with the guests before recording, they're like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Canada." They're like, "Oh, great, free
What?
healthcare."
Oh, why is that? It was so, I had never experienced that before.
Mhm.
Um, and anyway, I got sick during the pilot, and I went to the hospital, and it was so funny because nobody could find out what happened to me.
Mhm.
And so the
I'm sorry that
hospitals,
you went through that, by the way.
no, I loved it. They were so nice. They were like this.
No, I
Why
mean,
don't
I
you?
mean, getting sick and having to go to the hospital. That's not fun.
Oh, no, but I learned about the free healthcare system and I was like blown away. And I was like asking, what? Because they said, Tanya, how about we do this. I was like, I said, I'm not sure about that because I was thinking in America, that would be like, I have to sell my house to do all those 9 tests. And they said, oh no, everything is free. I was like, what? It was anyway, this is off topic, but I really enjoyed filming there. I love that I get to play Emma and Dark Tamara, and Dark Tamara has two buddy double, which is nice because you know the other girl, she is in charge of all the fightings and the swords thing, and I was like, wow, that's nice. And then the another girl is in charge of like she was in charge to, you know, whenever Emma or Dark Tamara has to be lifted, you know, she would be
Yeah,
lifted.
I finally started watching Aaron Stone as research for this as well because when I told Sean that I interviewed JP, he's like, "Did you watch Aaron Stone for research?" I was like, no, I mostly just went to Phil of the Future," and I was like, "I'm gonna be in a deep hole if I don't watch this for research." So
You are so nice. Oh, you're so nice. Well, thank you so much for watching it.
mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah, like when I announced the show on Nostalgia Talk's social media a lot, and like I listed your credits. I was like, she was in Aaron Stone, she was in Pixel Perfect. A lot of my friends were like, "Oh my god, I recognize her from a lot of these shows."
okay, I already love all your friends.
Hi, everybody.
They're now my favorite.
I love that.
Thank you, thank you.
Mm. So, how did you get into voice acting? Because you've done a lot of voice acting roles. How did that become an interest of yours?
You know, everything, so it's interesting. I was in the same situation with live action because one day I was watching cartoon and then I was like, and then it just came to me that somehow my brain did not connect to it, like it's not connecting. And I realized, wait a minute, this cartoon is voiced by actors. And oh my
What did
gosh,
you think they were, robots?
I just thought they're speaking animals.
I mean, as we're seeing these days, with AI taking over everything.
It was so crazy. My acting teacher laughed so hard because I said, Bobby, I just realized this voiceover cartoons are voiceover actors. And he's like, yeah.
Duh.
What the heck's going on? What's wrong with you? And I was like, so I said, oh my gosh, because I watched cartoons so much when I was a little girl, and you know those animes and all, and I was like, oh my gosh, are you telling me that there is a possibility that I can voice cartoon characters? And that's when I just went into the, the voiceover world. That one is another long story, but it's
Well,
been
that's
amazing.
a good lead in for my next question. Do you remember the first ever voice acting gig that you had?
Transformers Prime.
I had a feeling, yeah. And in that show, you got to work with legends like Peter Cullen and Frank Welker. What was that like?
Okay, it was Transformers Prime was one of my favorite ever working together with other actors because I don't know if you're familiar, James. So in voiceover, sometimes you record, most of the time you record alone.
Mm-hmm.
So like in
I've done voiceover on the first show that I worked on. They had an animated character. They're like, could somebody just read the lines? And then I was like, I'll do more than read the lines. If you want me to play the character, I can do it. And they thought it over and they were like, okay, we're gonna let you do it.
Congratulations. Oh, okay. Well, you better share then the link on how to watch that.
I can send it to you if you want. It's pretty funny.
Send it. Okay, send it to me.
There's a really really funny story behind it, but continue with what you were saying about
No,
Transformers
tell
Prime.
me, tell me.
So it was a ghost. So they wanted it to sound obviously very ominous type, and that's what I did when I asked, can I play this character instead of just reading the lines for the kids. And I'm a bit of a pop culture kind of guy. Like I watch. There's one show that I watch, Judge Judy.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
I did not
and
expect that.
yeah, and I know. I have a friend who's a lawyer. She's like, that's not real law, right? I'm like, that's what makes it funny. Um, so they mic'd me because they had heard the ominous voice that I'd given them. So they were going to do a sound test. We actually did it live instead of in a studio.
Oh.
And so the director was like, okay, James, just say something into the mic. And he wanted me to do the ghost voice, but he didn't say that. So I went into the mic, I went, is not an answer. And they're like, do that. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing Judge Judy to play this character.
Are you serious?
They wouldn't let me do anything else.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you have to send it to me now.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Look at you. I don't even know. You are like you surprise me in so many ways.
Oh.
Judge Judy, and yet I mean who watches Judge Judy and
I have a very interesting style of TV.
Yeah, you are like, oh, it's good, it's good,
Mm-hmm.
it's good.
Yeah,
That's good for your
yeah. Going back to Transformers Prime.
Yes. Oh, yes. It was amazing because a lot of the shows that I did and do and will do, it's I'm all usually by myself.
Mm-hmm.
But Transformers Prime was my first gig, and we recorded for 3 years, and it was so amazing because it's like an ensemble. So every Wednesday, everybody, Frank and Peter and Steve, Starscream, everybody, and Sumali. Oh my gosh, we hang out every Wednesday to record for 3 hours. And we would hang out beforehand and afterwards. It was the best time, truly. Like I really miss it. Hanging out with Peter and Frank. Frank is like always joking around, and he knows how to do all kinds of voices, right? So he would always prank me because I was easily prankable. Like, we would be like doing recording and serious, and then all of a sudden I would hear the sound of what do you call that? Oh my gosh, like what do you call that? When it's before the rain, it's very scary.
Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah, like like a lightning. And so we were clearly in the room, so there couldn't be lightning, right? But he would make this sound when it's like a scary part. And me and the boy, who played Raph, and we would be like, and ruining the session, of course. He would do like things like that. It's just so fun. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine for 3 years hanging out with them? Hanging out with the legendaries, voiceover actors, and Ah, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's and you know, like Peter Cullen was in the original Transformers series from the 80s.
Yes,
And
yes.
one of my most recent guests was Michael Bell, who was Prowl in the original Transformers series. And he told
Oh,
me that not too long ago, he and Peter actually reprised their roles for I think it was like a commercial.
oh my gosh. Yeah. And Peter is so humble too. You know, we would go to Comic-Con together and, you know, Peter, oh my goodness. Like I thought it was like very humbling because my first Comic-Con, the line was like really long, you know, because everybody stood in line to get autographs and picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were all like, everyone on this side, we were like, oh my gosh, this is gonna take a long time. All these people are so amazing. And then Peter has his own line on that side, and his line was like, and he was so nice because I was like, oh my gosh, how is he gonna finish this in 3 hours? You know, but he took his time and talked to everybody, and people are coming in. You know, like there's one guy, he came in and he transformed himself into a box. It was the best. Like he
Like his outfit was a transformer and he was able to do that.
yeah, and then he became a box, and then it goes, and then he would go back, and he became it became Optimus. So anyway, I
I
just thought
love
it was.
that.
I really miss the the hanging out with all these people, the ensemble part.
Mm. So were you a fan of Transformers before that show?
So, because as I said, when I was in Indonesia, Transformers did not really come to Indonesia. We have
Okay.
other shows like other robots shows, you know, and and remember, I didn't understand that there are voiceover actors behind these robots.
Right.
So though I knew about Transformers, I'm like, but I didn't realize that, these are I only realized it after I'm in it. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Mhm. So what was it like to do Lady Shiva in, or did I say that correctly? Shiva?
I think Shiva.
Okay. Shiva.
Shiva,
Uh,
Shiva sounds the same. Yes, Lady Shiva.
every time we're close, I Shiva, Shiva. Little, that's fellow Canadian Sean Desmond.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I'm going
So
to
you
see him in a couple of months. I'm pretty excited. So you did Lady Shiva in DC Superhero Girls. What was that like?
that one is nice. Same thing, that one is it's really nice, but I was by myself.
Mhm.
So I had no idea who everybody else is. It was like just in a lonely booth alone.
And there
But
was there anybody to screw with you by making thunder and lightning sound effects in the
there
booth?
was no lightning. There was no
I,
nothing
you
to be
tempted me. I
scared of.
couldn't resist.
I wanted that. I was like, hey, no one is pranking me. What's going on here? I was like, I need the pranks. Because I remember Steve, everybody in Transformers, they always have their own unique thing. Peter and Frank always you know, play with each other, and like somebody always eats string cheese, and it was just so fun. And when you do the lines, say I had to say something to Megatron, and Frank would be right there, and because I came from a live action, right? I'm not used to doing voiceover acting, so I
Mhm.
actually memorized all my lines, and everybody else are like reading. I'm like, I just memorized it because that's how I learn it. And I need a human being to read to. So I would say to Frank, I said, Frank, can you be Megatron and stand right here so I can do my lines to you while the microphone is right here? And he always does that. And it was so fun. But Lady Shiva, I love the character. Who doesn't like to play like a badass with like really long hair?
Very,
but
very
I was
different from doing Harper.
very, very different. Yes, very different. But I was by myself, and it is nice though afterwards to watch the show and to see how the editor put it together, so it looks like we were all in the same room,
Mhm. That's so
in the same scene.
Mhm. And you also got to do Penn Zero Part-Time Hero. What was that like doing another superhero show?
Oh my God, that's so amazing. Okay, I love that so much. So Sam was the director and the creator, and Jared also was the creator on that. It was so
Hmm.
nice. So that one is really fun because I get to work with a lot of people there. Sometimes Thomas, like the people, the series regular, sometimes we see each other, I would say maybe 2 or 3 times. So you can get a feel of how they do it. They would improvise, so I know I can improvise. But the fun part is that the director, Mary, is there, and Sam, the creator, is always there as well. So in the beginning, Jared would be there too, but after that, just Sam and Mary. And it's really nice to co-create with them. So they would play the other characters, and then I would play me, and then we would try different things, and it's just I really miss that. That was so fun. And I love, okay, my one of my favorite things about cartoons is I love when we go to a different world and be somebody else.
Hmm.
You know how in Penn Zero, you go and then you became something else, and I just love that fantasy.
It's sweet. It's sweet.
How about you? Do you like things like that, or straight up superhero, or like, well, what kind of cartoons or animation do you like?
So, I grew up a Disney kid, as you can tell by my shirt. So like a
Cool.
lot of my earliest stuff was like Disney Channel cartoons, and Warner Brothers. Like I love Looney Tunes, I love Scooby Doo. Um, mhm.
Frank Welker. Mhm.
Yes, I forgot about that one. Um,
Yeah.
I'm also a big Toy Story kid.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
Oh yeah, Toy Story 1 was one of the first movies that I ever watched as a child. The first one came out before I was even born, but like I one of the first movies I ever watched like with my eyeballs. Um, so
Wow.
yeah, I'm a Disney kid. I'm a Warner Brothers kid. Nickelodeon. Like I love SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Hey Arnold.
Oh,
Like I
yes,
grew up.
yes.
I grew up with a lot of these shows.
So you like variety of shows.
Oh yeah, I am a very eclectic kind of a guy.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
puppets, live action, animation, like that's a lot of the stuff that I want to write for. It's funny, my cousin who lives out in Montreal, she texted me that her son and niece were watching the SpongeBob movie, and I'm like, oh God, I want so badly to write a SpongeBob movie one day.
Oh my gosh. Oh, SpongeBob is the best. Yes, yes.
Yeah, it really is. I have always impressed a lot of my friends with I was the only one in a lot of my friend groups who was really into this stuff.
Oh.
Like, and even when I went to film school, like my interest was in writing for like kid shows or teen stuff. Not everybody was really into it like I was, and that's okay. Like a lot of the time we would be in groups, like reading each other's scripts. Guess how many of my scripts ended up being used?
Oh, I hope a lot.
It's a pretty low number, actually. Like,
Oh, because they are not understanding this fun thing.
yeah, and a lot of the ones that we ended up using had a lot of cursing in them, and I'm like, okay, I'll remember that for next time. Just swear a lot.
No. But you know what? You're gonna make your own and
But
you're
but
gonna
but it but
co-direct.
but it did inspire me to want to watch more serious stuff. Like because of film school, I watched The Matrix for the first time ever.
Oh, okay.
Um, I
Yeah.
wrote I wrote a drama film, like the script for a possible drama film not too
Mhm.
long ago, and I'm thinking, okay, how do I make this a little bit more serious than most of the things that I've come up with? And I it, I'm trying not to give myself too much credit. But I'd say it. I'd say I kind of impressed myself.
Well, I like it. I mean, look, you seem to be very well-rounded person.
Thank you.
You understand a lot of things. You have taste in a lot of things, so that you are not just limited by one thing.
Hmm.
I see so many potentials and successes in the future. Oh my goodness.
Um,
Maybe
I,
you'll be directing a movie someday, and big
I, I,
movie, and we can catch you
I'd
at
like to.
one.
Like I've submitted stuff into our local film festival here. Hopefully I can get something shown one of these days.
Yes. So you're writing, and then you with the film festival, do you actually film them, or are you sending them to a screenwriting festivals?
So we actually have a local film festival here. Actually, we've got a couple. So like I went around my street and shot a little experimental documentary. It was just like
Oh,
stuff that I shot on my phone. I used cinematic mode on my phone for that. Kind of edited them together and made a little experimental documentary. And what it was just a bunch of shots that are connected to one thing collated
oh,
together.
oh, cool. All right. Well, I hope you win.
Thank you. That's all I've got here. Is there anything you want to say to wrap up?
No, that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you for finding me again here in May. I'm glad I get to talk to you, and I look forward to getting that link. Is it a
Yes,
link or is it
yeah,
okay?
it's on YouTube, the series that I worked on.
Okay, send
Yeah,
it,
I
please. We are
absolutely
friends.
for
We're friends on Instagram and we're friends on Facebook now, right?
Yep, I'll definitely I'll send you the link for the series. Thanks for coming on Nostalgia Talk today.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye,
And
James.
to all you listeners out there, I will see you next time for the next Nostalgia Talk. Peace out.